definitely don't like the way Newsom handled any of the homelessness. I don't like the way that he's done a lot of things in California. But thank you for reinvigorating Newsom to going back into his quote unquote progressive. He's not progressive. He's just a moderate, progressive skin,
yep.
Right?
Correct.
But
yep. Agreed.
Thanks, I guess, MAGA, for that. We'll see what happens in 2028 as he's running his campaign in 2016. That's on you. That's on you, MAGA. Hats off.
Well said, brother. Well, I will message you my email address, Manny, too, so you have that, and my phone number. I'll message that to you in the Discord so we can connect. Okay.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you very much. Everybody, be on the lookout for Mondays with Manny. That'll be coming up. Appreciate you, bud. See you later. Okay, so couple things before we kind of continue. Again, if you want to support the channel, I appreciate y'all for participating today to help us hit our daily life goal. All my pay apps are at Factsstillmatter. Appreciate that. Two things before I do want to get into our topic today about unexpected angels. Since we brought up California, so there's reporting from. I think I have it on Politico. I'll just read the story. So we're looking at the map. So I did a couple of we're really gonna get into the midterms because generally speaking, the party in power, so the incumbent party, loses seats in midterm elections, and that's generally what happens. It's wild in our political space now. Things are not necessarily predictable. So by most guesstimates, under normal operating conditions, the House would likely flip to Democrats in 2026. I'm approaching this, friends, that we are still going to have elections, because if that's the case, then if I started to convince myself that we're not going to have elections anymore, then what's the point in having these conversations? So I'm still going to, Obi knows me, I'm always a glass half full kind of guy anyway, but I'm going to lean in on that, okay? Just because of the fact that there's a lot of activity at the state level and federal elections under the current conditions are still run by the states. So we'll see. Anyway, long story short, the likelihood that Democrats will retain control of the House is very high. It's a lot tougher on the Senate side because the map just doesn't line up, but you never know, because all of a sudden is Alaska in play just because of Lisa Murkowski's bullshit. Susan Collins in Maine, the open seat now in North Carolina because of Tom Tillis's retirement. Who knows about others? So it's going to be tough. Anyway, because of that concern that Republicans could potentially lose control of the House, Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, has decided to take up a special session of the legislature to redraw congressional districts in Texas, with the sole intention of allowing Republicans to cheat their way to control of the House. In response to that, Governor Newsom has said, if Texas does that, we're going to do it in California too. And I'm like, I don't like gerrymandering, friends. I've talked about this publicly. But if that's what's going to happen, then I say, fuck it. Fucking do it. Let Kathy Hochul do it. Let Kathy Hochul chop up Long Island, because Long Island and Staten Island are Republican strongholds in New York City. Let her chop that shit up too. Every state, every fucking state. If that's the game you want to play, then fucking do it. Then do it. Seriously.
I mean, it's time that we stop. And due respect to Michelle, but there is no more going high.
Agreed.
We're going to match energy. And
Agreed.
if Greg Abbott so desires to fuck around, he will also find out. Because he's already found out that all of the lies he said about money for Kerr County has now been shown to be lies, and that Kerr County did indeed turn everything down. So, and then he's out there begging for money, and then incompetent Noam, right? Anything over $100,000 needs her approval. There is not a manager on the planet, not an effective one, that would have such a stupid policy. When your budget is hundreds of millions, if not a couple $1 billion, right? You don't need to approve things. You're supposed to do this thing. I think it's called delegating. I could be wrong, Steve. Perhaps you could help me out with that.
Yeah, it's a good call. That's what good leaders do. Good leaders, the best leaders that I've ever worked for, the best leaders that have ever influenced me in my career have always told me, I want you to take my job. I want to develop you so that you're my replacement. I want you to be smarter than me, better than me, more prepared than I am. That's what good leaders do.
Yeah.
That's the key to leadership. Surround yourself with people that you trust and look at each one of them as like, that person could take my job tomorrow. That's what you want. But corporations sadly have fallen off. But anyway, I like that. I mean, somebody was talking about Democratic strategies or campaign slogans. Maybe say, Democrats, we can cheat too. I don't know if that's necessarily effective, but seriously, if they're going to do that, and it looks very likely that they're going to call this special session in the Texas legislature. Now, I just want people to think about that for a second, okay? There is no reason now to do that other than we are going to cheat our way into maintaining control of Congress. That's it. There's no other reason to do it. There's none. There's no justification to do it other than what we just described, fucking cheating. So here's the thing. If Texas does this, and the reporting from California is that the Governor Newsom is considering doing the same thing, and if they do it in Texas and then they don't do it in California, then Newsom's going to have to answer for that. Like, why not? Yep. Why would you not do it? Why would you not do it? Why would you not? So if you live there, if you live in New York, you live in Illinois, you live in, a lot of the other states, don't forget, the majority of people in our country, because last time I checked, I don't know if you know this, Obi, but land does not vote, and neither do trees. Just letting you know. I know that's breaking news.
Hey, first of all, some trees, for the sake of argument, have had meetings.
Breaking news, friends. Breaking news. Land doesn't vote. Film at 11. So
stay tuned for news on the 8th.
Exactly. News and weather together on the 8th. Exactly. If that happens, then I fully expect Democratic legislatures to respond in kind. Seriously. I'd love to see Mike Lawler is somebody who I think he has a position in one of those districts that are in the Staten Island, Long Island area that's heavily red. I would love to see a congressional map drawn where the only resident of that district is Mike Lawler. You draw a map around his house. Everybody else goes into a new congressional district that's, maybe you draw the map so wildly that it bleeds into AOC's district. And the only one left is Mike Lawler. Anyway, not going to happen, but I'm just saying. All right, let's get into our topics today because I think it's necessary. I wanted to do this. Been talking about this for a while. Thank you, Gregory, for making me look like Thor's hammer, Hey Now, or Hermes, or whatever it might be. As if you're just joining us, the term unexpected angels is something that I've used in my life, and I'm trying to remember exactly. I have a feeling it was a conversation I had with my daughter about how, you are in positions in life where you don't expect things to happen, or I should say, said more aptly and appropriately, unexpected events happen, and you never know who's going to be there to help you through it. So therefore, people who are unexpected angels either are there at the right time, or the situation presents itself and you didn't even know that you needed help, or people respond. Specifically, though, it's for people who are never asking for attention, don't want to be celebrated, but should be celebrated. So we're going to do this every Friday as part of our general discussions, because it's still Antifa Friday, because I look at it as people pushing back against fascism in a variety of ways, doing something to make your community better, doing something to promote the lives of individuals in and around you. That is doing something, in my opinion, that is completely Antifa. Propping up voices that need to be heard. So as we discussed, the tragedy of last weekend in Texas, 120 lives lost. We can talk about the cause and effect of policies because it's important. But I want to talk about two individuals who are unexpected angels. A quiet night in the mountain regions of Kerr County, Texas, turned into a nightmare when the Guadalupe River surged violently through a Christian summer camp, Camp Mystic, before dawn on Friday, July 4th. Torrential rain swept through the area, destroying cabins and sweeping away anyone in their path. Currently, local authorities report at least over 120 deaths, with 28 girls either deceased or missing. What is now one of the worst flooding-related tragedies in the region's history. Amid the devastation, a single act of courage carried through the darkness. Two 19-year-old Mexican women, Silvana Garza Valdez and Maria Paula Zarate, managed to save the lives of 20 girls under their care in the middle of the chaos. Their testimony has since become a symbol of bravery and resolve during the most terrifying hours of the storm. Maria Paula Zarate recounted to 40 TV that the rain began around 1 a.m. and quickly intensified until no one at the camp could sleep. Cabins began to fill with water. The river surged out of control. Darkness cloaked the area. Fear spread among the young girls, most of whom were under 10. The two caretakers took swift action. They wrote each girl's names on their arms. They wrote each girl's names on their arms using permanent marker in case they became separated. The rain didn't stop all night. The girls were crying and hugging us in fear, Maria Paula said. The gesture, simple and intuitive, helped restore a measure of order during the chaos and offered comfort to the children paralyzed by fear. As the situation worsened, Silvana and Maria Paula assembled the girls into small groups, guiding them barefoot through the rising waters to higher ground. They improvised shelters and kept the girls close as they waded through the storm. There was no electricity, no phone service, no sign of a rescue. Quote, "We prayed and told them everything would be okay," Silvana said, describing how they tried to keep the girls calm despite the cold, the water, and the ever-present fear. Authorities confirmed that during the peak of the flood, communication was cut off entirely, and the rushing waters were so strong that evacuation became almost impossible. The two Latinas managed to keep their group together and alive through the sheer instinct and the urgent will to protect them. The Kerr County Sheriff's Office reported that 27 bodies had been recovered and over 20 girls remain unaccounted for. Search and rescue operations are underway with support from Texas National Guard and local volunteers. Officials worry that some children were pulled away by the floodwaters in the early hours when the river's strength was at its peak. Early reports revealed that Camp Mystic sat in a zone known for flash floods. There was no clear evacuation plan in place, no alarms, no weather monitoring system. Those details are now part of an ongoing investigation that will likely shape their future. Unexpected angels. Silvana and Maria Paula saved the lives of 20 young girls. Intuition, instinct. I'm going to write the names on their arms with permanent marker in case we get separated. I'm going to keep them calm. I'm going to tell them I love them. Unexpected angel. That shit hits, man. That shit hits. Okay, I have a couple more. These are stories of hope. These are stories of people that are doing the things that, like I said, unexpectedly. You never know the opportunities in life when you talk about paying it forward, or you're talking about, again, two girls of Mexican descent in America saving lives. Okay. The next story that I want to read to you is the person I'm going to talk about next is James Lee Jesse. James Lee Jesse, a humanitarian teen, to say the least, from the state of Illinois. James Lee Jesse was a survivor of Haiti's 2020 earthquake, was orphaned at age 2 and brought to Moequa, Illinois by adoptive parents. This is the story. When Mary Jesse visited a hospital in Milad, Haiti in 2010, about 10 months after an earthquake unalived hundreds of thousands of people in the country, she was struck by a surprising sight. While many patients had been discharged after the disaster, a 2-year-old orphan was one of the few left behind. At one point, a sign had been hung with him that said, "Do not pick me up," because he was so beloved that the staff had to urge others to hold him less so he could walk on his own. Looking back, Mary, an orthopedic volunteer and physical therapist from Illinois, tells People magazine that it's very humbling that our paths wouldn't have crossed without the earthquake. Mary and her husband, Nathan, didn't have kids and initially wanted to seek a medical visa in the U.S. for the little boy, who survived 5 days in the rubble and was left with serious injuries. He was 2. But the more we considered it, we realized we had nothing to take him back to, so they decided to adopt instead. 15 years later, James Lee Jesse doesn't remember much about what he survived, but he hasn't forgotten the lessons of giving back. 16-year-old Eagle Scout recently won a National Service Award and scholarship for raising some $35,000 and then packing and shipping 100,000 meals for hungry people at the same hospital facility in Haiti that saved his life. It's not really about any of the accolades, James Lee said, Unexpected Angel. It's about making sure people know there are other people out there who need food. In May of 2013, at the age of 4, James Lee arrived in Illinois after adoption process went through. He immediately acclimated himself to his new surroundings when he took part in a local T-ball event. He hit the ball and everybody was clapping for him all over the park, says his dad, Nathan, 62. It was so cool. Everyone took him in and everything just took off from there. Some of the biggest things that stick out, especially in a community like this, are just how fast you get to know everybody and nobody really sees any differences, James Lee told Moika. We're just one big family here. It was an adjustment, but it was pretty easy after I learned the language. James Lee was first introduced to the scouting program through his school. While he loved the outdoor activities and group bonding, he still surprised his parents when he declared in 2023 that he was going to raise at least $17,500 and 50,000 meals that he wanted to send to Haiti. I knew immediately that's what I wanted to do. He didn't even blink an eye, says his mother. Mary and I looked at each other and were like, buddy, we're not wanting to mortgage our home on this, but he proved us wrong. And how? Many of the donations were earned through presentations James Lee gave around his local community. The initial goal came very easily, which we were in shock about, Nathan says. Then James Lee said, what's the most we can pack in a day? Well, 100,000 meals. In October 2023, James Lee organized a pack-a-thon at his school gym. I didn't really know how many people were going to show up. That part was scary. He didn't need to worry. 430 volunteers showed up. We had physicians, we had preschoolers. It was great, says Mary, 55. The meals were seen as a big help for the hospital in Haiti, a country that still struggles with instability. They were donated by a former patient, came as no surprise to the staff as emergency because they remembered him. They remembered James Lee as a bright and wonderful young man. Dr. Bill Goyle, who served as medical volunteer following the 2010 Haiti earthquake, first met James Lee as a sweet, beautiful child who was loved by our staff. Years later, Guile reunited with the now grown-up James Lee at a food packing event at the doctor hosted in St. Louis. I was shocked to meet this self-assured, well-spoken young man. When James Lee decided to host his own food packing event, I was thrilled. He did a magnificent job of planning the event and raising the funds to purchase the food to be packed. It was remarkable to see how his community came together to support this young man. As a result of this project, James Lee was selected for the 2025 Glenn A. Melinda W. Adams National Eagle Scout Award for Project of the Year. It was a very big shock for me. I wanted to give back to the community where I started. James Lee has not been back to Haiti since he arrived in America as a child, but has expressed interest in returning there. He currently doesn't have extended relatives in Haiti with whom he has a close relationship. It's definitely been a thought of mine as to how I can make it back there and make an impact. But as of right now, the political unrest they have, it just really isn't necessary or able or safe. So, 2-year-old kid stuck in an earthquake, adopted by family in Illinois, changes lives, right? It's important that we have these conversations now, friends, because if we give up on humanity, then what's the point? Right? If we just give up on humanity, then what's the point? So there are people out there that they're not involved. Those two young women aren't involved in politics. They just saw a need. They just saw 20 young girls under the age of 10 whose lives were saved by these two individuals who in our society are considered vermin. Go back to your shithole countries, right? They didn't care about any of that shit. They took markers, permanent markers. They wrote the names of the girls on their arms in case they got separated. Not just in case they got separated, in case they got found. And there's a young man who was orphaned at 2 years old and decided, I'm not going to forget the people who showed me kindness. I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to be an unexpected angel for people in Haiti. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do something because I appreciate what was given to me. That's the point of these conversations today. We'll do more of them, and I got a few more that we'll get to. So, yeah. There's hope for humanity when you hear things like that. There's hope. There's hope. Hi, Kat. How are you today? Oh, not loaded yet. Are you there, Kat? I guess not. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Kitty, you're right. It's hope. If we don't have it, we have. Well, you guys know me. I'm a sucker for stories like this because it's real. It's real. It's real. These things are. There's so many things you can do to change the life of somebody else. It's like the whole. The feather from the beginning of Forrest Gump, right? And then that feather goes on to someone else. And I just believe in acts of kindness, and I believe in those kinds of things, which is why when people are so just cruel by nature, when people are just so unbelievably cruel and just intentionally cruel, I always struggle with trying to understand it. Like, I don't even know where, I can't even imagine walking around with that level of hatred. Only Yankees, only New York Yankees for me. Everything else, I just can't imagine it. I don't get it. And I'm glad I don't get it. I'm glad about that. I am really glad that I don't get it. So, got a couple more for you. This is, we're going to talk about Judy Timmons now. This is from last year, but I liked this story. The headline from the Midland Daily News: Citizen of the Year finalist Judy Timmons. From creating spaces for peace to helping older adults in her community, Judy Timmons has been a constant and well-recognized volunteer in Midland for more than a decade. After retiring from Dow in 2009, Timmons gave herself 1 year of rest before jumping headfirst into volunteering at several agencies in her community. She started volunteering as an usher at the Midland Center for the Arts and teaching a class at Senior Services. One of her largest accomplishments in the past few years, though, was the City of Peace designation for Midland. This passion for peace is what led Timmons to join her friend Jean Scaller and several others, creating a Midland chapter of the Nonviolent Peace Force. War accomplishes nothing, Timmons said. The devastation that happens in those countries, let alone all the people that have to leave. We have so many refugees in our world now because of places where there is violence and they have to leave their homes. Imagine having to leave your home. Timmons' work with the Nonviolent Peace Force is one of the reasons her sister, Kathleen Gandy, and others nominated her for Citizen of the Year. We are so grateful for everything Judy and her chapter have done, from teaching anti-bullying in schools to writing fundraising letters, thanking supporters with a handwritten card, hosting peace events, writing messages of encouragement to women peacekeeping teams across the country, and protection officers, and so much more. The Nonviolent Peace Force is an international organization focused on protecting civilians in violent conflicts through unarmed strategies and to advocate for those strategies to be adopted around the world. Their whole premise is transforming the world's response to conflict through unarmed means, Timmons said. We just create the atmosphere for folks to come together and talk without weapons and come to a peaceful resolution. And it works. There's something about being unarmed when you confront people. It just de-escalates the tension. Midland's Nonviolent Peace Force chapter has accomplished several things over the years, including hosting workshops and teaching anti-bullying strategies to local students. The group also worked with members of the Midland Rotary Club to add Midland to the International Cities of Peace. Timmons was inspired to pursue the designation after watching a friend of hers from Traverse City do the same with his local peace organization. When he told me about what they were doing with International Cities of Peace, I thought, well, Midland's a peaceful city. We should get that designation too. It took Timmons and the rest of the group a year to gather all the paperwork, history, and signatures needed, as well as create the required website. Since earning the City of Peace designation, Midland has held annual celebrations of the accomplishment in alignment with Midland's neighboring week. This year, the third celebration was the largest one yet, and Timmons expects it will continue to grow. Our whole goal is opening up for people to showcase what they do in Midland. Come and see what all the good organizations are. We invite all the nonprofits. It's growing each year. We don't turn anybody away. All the work that Timmons has put into the Nonviolent Peace Force contributes to her goal of seeing a world full of peaceful resolution. I would love it if there was one day in my lifetime where people didn't go to war and feel like they have to shoot at each other over territory or religion or land that becomes devastated. There's got to be a better way, and there is. At the same time as her peace work, Timmons also volunteers at the Legacy Center, organizing and updating books, and teaches a Matter of Balance class at Senior Services. Her class teaches seniors different exercises, as well as how to keep their homes safe and how to be prepared and assertive when going to the doctor. We're changing their mindset into thinking of exercise as another medicine that you take every day. You would never stop taking your blood pressure medicine, so don't ever stop exercising. Good advice. I need it. Through her efforts as a Matter of Balance coach, she's helped participants become more confident about managing falls by believing that they can increase their strength, find ways to reduce falls, and protect themselves if they do fall. In addition, participants report that they have increased the amount of exercise that they get on a regular basis. All of this serves to help people reduce their fear of falling and remain active and independent. Not only does Timmons plan to continue to volunteer for years to come, she is hoping to do even more, such as becoming a friendly visitor with Senior Services. The more volunteers we have, the better off we all are. Pay it forward. That would be, again, Judy Timmons, who is making a difference in her community, an unexpected angel. Saw something, decided, I can make this better. So these are stories. We're going to do this every Friday. I would ask any of you, if you know someone in your community, if you know somebody who would fall into that unexpected angel category, people who just don't get the publicity that they deserve to have for the work that they kind of do, I'd like to be able to have those conversations and share their stories because I think it's good stuff. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do I want to do this? I do. And I think it's timely. Because you have people like Judy Timmons out there promoting for peace in the world, and we have human suffering that exists everywhere. You know, we have promises made of ceasefires between Israel and Gaza. We have Bibi Netanyahu, who's a war criminal, nominating Donald Trump, who you could argue is a domestic war criminal, for the Nobel Peace Prize, and yet Israel and the IDF is still lobbing munitions into Gaza, where more innocent lives are being lost. That's continuing to happen. I don't know the way out of this, to be honest, but we have to do more to raise up the voices of human suffering around the world. I don't know if you guys, this is not a pivot necessarily, but there's a series that Ewan McGregor and his friend Charlie Borland, it's on YouTube, you can watch it, or it's on Apple TV. It's called Long Way Round, Long Way Down, Long Way Up. It's about motorcycle journeys that they take across. The first one was a long way around, where they rode their motorcycles from London east around the world to New York. They went through all parts of the world, Siberia, etc. And then they did one through Africa. And I had never seen so many parts of Africa. And it was great that they did this because it just showed the human element, right? So many of these communities are so incredibly isolated, and just to call them poor would be a compliment. They literally have nothing. And here's these two white guys on motorcycles showing up in their community as they're driving through through Africa. And they just give them whatever they have. You know, we'll make tea for you. We'll lay out a feast. Food that probably would last their community for months, because they'll just show their kindness and their generosity and their caring and their compassion. And what do we have here? We have elected officials telling people to go back to their shithole countries, or the president of the United States insulting the president of Liberia by asking him, where did you learn English? And the country of Liberia's main language is English. And you're right, Samantha, and we have concentration camps, and we are rounding up U.S. citizens getting caught in the madness, and people are celebrating it. Like cheering it on. The same people who claim to be Christian, cheering for it. Our country is an embarrassment to the world, and it should be. And we all play a role. right? We all play a role because we have an apathetic society. We have an apathetic society. We have a selfish society. We have a lack of willingness to become informed and become involved. If you guys have ever learned anything from me, if there's anything that I've ever said over the 3 years or so, or however long it is that I've been doing this show, it's we close the show with it every single day. Do something. I don't care what it is. I really don't care what it is. Just do something. Do something without fanfare. Do something that no one's going to know that you do. Whatever that is. The gift of empathy is something that can be, I believe it can be taught. So when you grow up around people who are empathetic, you are likely to become empathetic. Only girls paint their nails. Okay. Thank you for proving our point. Actually, nail polish was invented for men. Would you like to walk up to, warriors throughout history when their nails were painted? Would you like to walk up to them and tell them that? Did you grow up in the 80s? Did you ever watch any rock bands in the 80s? You know that? Why does it trigger you so much? But thank you for playing. Anyway, I believe you can teach empathy. So giving people an opportunity to show them what empathetic tendencies are, or show them examples of empathy, it can literally just be a simple act of kindness, right? Whatever that might be, whatever that might be. Just to show others that there's a better way to do these things. So why we spend time talking about the impact of politics and how it impacts people's lives. Whatever the numbers shake out, 13.7, 17 million, 9 million people losing their Medicaid benefits under threat. From my perspective, if you are legislating one person from potentially losing their benefits, then that's one too many. Like, why? Why would people cheer that on? At the core, what we're talking about is political influence over society that is intended to harm people. That's what we're talking about now, right? Right. Not so sure it can be taught, just learned. It's a fair point, Ray. I guess what I mean by that is it can be learned by examples. So are you teaching people because they're learning? I get your point though, as far as empathy goes. Yeah, but I mean, this is where there's no debate. We can't debate whether or not people are going to be harmed by these policies, because we know they are. We know they are. We've got decades of examples, right? So why do we continue to allow ourselves to be sucked up into that shit? That's why voting is so important. Community involvement is so important. The reason that I think it's so important, like if you're in a community, say for example you're a blue dot, right? And you go out in your community. Again, I can say this as a privileged white man in America. I can go anywhere and feel safe. That doesn't apply to everybody. So I'm a caveat to what I'm about to say. But going out into your community and showing people that you can make a difference, whether it be a food drive, whether it be just volunteering after school to read to kids, whether it be finding a neighbor who you know is struggling and just leaving a picnic basket on their porch. Little things like that show people that there are still people out there that do have empathy, that lean in. Unexpected. Don't ask for attention. Don't ask for reward. Don't ask for recognition. Just do it. Just go do it. Just go do whatever it is. Simple little things. Holding the door for somebody. Bringing somebody's shopping cart back, although don't get me started on that one. Whew. Wow. Yeah. What was that comment? Hold on a second. His masculinity is not threatened by it. Okay. I don't get the issue. Why do people have such an issue with this? I don't get it. I was in a band all through high school. I had my hair down the middle of my back. My fingernails were painted black. Was it okay then? Was it okay then because I played in a band? I remember painting my fingernails. We had this great idea that we were going to play under a black light. So everybody in the band painted their fingernails neon so that it glowed under the black light, and it looked fucking cool. It was great. It was great. But anyway, I don't know why it's such a triggering point. But it brings up a great example. You're focused on some guy who's got nail polish on and not focused on the fact that there are concentration camps being built in Florida. You're focused on a guy who's got Just Say Gay and a rainbow hat on his head, and you're not focused on children losing SNAP benefits. You might want to think about adjusting your priorities a tiny little bit. Just a little. Just a little bit. Just a little. There's an opportunity here to learn. Whether you choose to or not is up to you. Okay. Thank you for allowing me to do that. I want to get to a few more things. Okay. So as we mentioned, the DOJ is under a lot of pressure right now. You guys cool with getting back to some news a little bit? I know that we just went down it's probably a good little palate cleanse. I hope this is something that you guys will continue to support, because I think we don't do it enough. We do not call out the people who are unexpected angels enough, and we're going to do it. So if you want to participate in that every Friday, please come back, because we're going to do it. I see Tootle. I'll bring Tootle up first. Good day, brother. How are you?
Hey, good morning to you. Dobre Utra. Another great day in the USSRA. I just want to come up before you switch to news about unexpected angels. I've got two.
Beautiful. Let's hear it.
One, I guess, local-ish, if you count the internet as local, since we're a community, and that's Eve. She was so kind yesterday to give me a gift sub. I've been following you guys for quite a long time, but I just haven't been able to afford to support you how I'd want to, except for giving coins back that people have given me. So I'm so appreciative of that, and she's just awesome.
She is incredibly awesome. Can everybody do me a solid and put 10 blue hearts in the chat for Eve right now, please? Because she doesn't believe how much we love her. So let's prove her wrong. There you go. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
And I don't think it's unrecorded. She gives love back, so that's great. And for my I guess my national angel, I really want to. I'm sure we all have seen it, and just want to point out that the unexpected angels in Texas, the Mexican rescue squads,
incredible,
that came over on their own, not asked.
On their own, unasked.
Immediately.
They organized themselves. They brought supplies, and they were some of the first people on the scene helping.
Yep. And I saw, I think it was the New York Times did a piece on them with the video, and they're saying that how they train is they collect bodies from migrants that try to cross the Rio.
Yeah.
And that's where they became experts at it. And that's just heartbreaking too. So,
I agree.
I guess Trump was wrong. They are sending their best.
Well said, bro. Well said. Thank you, Tootle. I appreciate you, man. Reach out to me.
I'll see you maybe tonight. I don't know.
I'll be here 7:00 for Facts After Dark. Are you okay? If not, if you can't make it, you know where to find us, buddy. I appreciate you.
Got it. Have a great one.
You too. See you later. Love Tootle. Okay. Bring up Olive. I get the other. I now get to speak to the other half of the power couple.
That's so sweet. Actually, it was really funny. So as we were sitting here, he was talking and I was helicoptering and stuff like that. And he's like, "You really talk about me to other people, huh?" I said, "I told you I do all the time."
Nobody responded when I put that note in Discord last night. I said, Manny, Olive and I are talking about you behind your back.
Well, I kind of went up to him and I kind of smiled and I said, I got something in the works. And he's like, what are you talking about? He said, you just have to trust me.
It's great. It's great. I'm glad that you're each other's champions. You're each other's unexpected angels, Olive.
Actually, that's what I was going to bring up is when I saw your prompt and you were talking about it, I'm like, there are so many because I've been on this app since 2021. I've been talking politics since then. And I want people to understand something that on this app, not only have I been a part of a great, loving community, I have been a part of a family that has supported me not only throughout my divorce and the DV part of my marriage, actively have seen me grow and see me in a much healthier and happier relationship than where I was beforehand. So my unexpected angels are every single person I've ever met through this app. Every single person.
It's a good one.
Because in a world where everything feels like it's on fire, we're here and we have a great community. And
we do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I'm very, very lucky and blessed to be a part of it.
Feelings mutual. We're glad you're part of it too. We love you.
But the other thing too, not so unexpected, I don't know if you saw, but I've been posting about it. The Trump administration is withholding about $6.8 billion from the Department of Education.
Yeah, saw that. And as somebody who's literally in the process of about to begin FAFSA again, I'm terrified.
Not even to mention, this isn't just public education sectors. This is also daycares. So if you know a childcare worker, give them an extra hug and maybe figure out if you can volunteer some way, somehow. As someone who works and getting ready to go to work for it, you guys need to understand that what childcare workers do isn't for the weak. I need you guys to fully understand. Not only just teachers, not only just faculty there, people are suffering, especially living in a red state, like in the state I currently reside in. So I don't know who you guys want to call someone, email someone, tell them what's going. The thing I found out, $6.8 billion in the Department of Education is 48% of the Department of Education's budget.
It's priorities, right? It's priorities.
But no, it's just, again, it's something that I feel like everyone needs to understand. And also, unexpected angels are your daycare workers, are your childcare workers as well. Those people
absolutely
get underpaid, underappreciated all the time. And I'm not just tooting my own horn for what I did. I'm saying everyone down to the custodian.
Totally agree.
So
totally agree.
Didn't mean to rain on the parade for a second.
No, you're not. Think of it this way though. I mean, we entrust people. This goes back to the system. I've talked about this math before. There are single moms, working parents who get their absolute maximize their 6 or 8 weeks of maternity leave or whatever they get if they're lucky. They go back to work only to have insurance. So they can have insurance and the money that they make just goes to pay for their daycare. So there's that, think about that problem with that system. So the same people that want to criticize people, they should just go back to work while they're going back to work. They're going back to work and they have to afford daycare and the only reason they can maintain their insurance. So somebody like that potentially could lose Medicaid if they don't have a job.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And
it's wild.
Not even to mention, a lot of childcare places, at least where I've experienced, they don't offer insurance. Full-time worker, and I'm actually really lucky for what they're paying me. They normally don't pay people as high as they're paying me, but because of my educational background and how much work I did before moving to Tennessee, they're paying me more. But again, that's not taking away from a single mom I work with, whose child is in the program and money gets cut out of her paycheck to continue to pay for her child's daycare. I'm
exactly.
This is something where people are going to feel the pain. And, they talk about hustling. If you are able to babysit or if you are able to open your own daycare and actually have the adequate funds to do it, I say do it because these kids are going to need someone to watch them.
I agree. And it's a great, yeah, even if it's not a daycare, like you said, like reading to kids after school or whatever that might be. These are all these little kinds of things. So those of you, think of it this way. My kids are grown. Some of the most incredible moments of my life when my kids would pile on top of me and we would read Dr. Seuss books. I will always cherish that. I gotta be careful. I'm going to lose my shit. Those things are so rewarding and gratifying for your own kids, but there are children in our country whose parents don't read to them. I don't understand that. So maybe that's something you can do in your community. Say, I'm going to, after school, I'm going to bring my books, or we're going to sit down and we're just going to read. See, Spitfire, you're part of the problem. You don't care. You just don't give a shit.
There are parents who will also, and these are the Republicans that complain about the iPad kids, but that's because a lot of parents don't know how to interact with the kids. Not even to mention, most of the kids now that are like in, elementary to middle school, those are C19 babies. Those are babies that are understanding like just now how to react, like bringing into the psychological part of everything. Their brains, as they're still developing, but they're developing at a different rate because of everything that's going on. I want you guys to like fully grasp this. Like,
good point.
This is a really dangerous part, and this is why I will forever say MAGA isn't pro-life. You don't care about people. You don't care about kids. All you care about is pro-birth.
Thank you, Olive. I love you, friend. Be safe out there.
I'll see you guys.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brooke, for this. So we're just talking about how the priorities. So little math about the concentration camp in Florida. $450 million per year, or 3,000 people. I'm sorry, $450 million per year for 3,000 people is $150,000 per person per year. $450 million per year to keep it funded for 3,000 people, prisoners in the concentration camp. It's $150,000 per person per year. The cost for one person receiving SNAP benefits for 1 year is $2,256. But yet they're telling us that SNAP is too expensive and there's waste, fraud, and abuse. Somebody want to defend that? You pathetic conservative Christians who care about life? You moderates, waste, fraud, and abuse? Anybody, you feel like you want to defend that? Probably not, huh? Didn't think so. Didn't think so. Everybody, please keep tapping. Again, if you want to contribute to our goal, we are crowdfunded here. Actually, it's not up there, but it's at Factsstillmatter or all my social sites, Substack, Twitch, YouTube, here. Also, please consider subscribing to YouTube if you haven't yet already. And if you want to support the goal, you can do that. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing that. If you haven't joined our team, please also consider doing that. Wyoming Sunflower does not look like you're able to connect today. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
What up, man? I'm here to agree with you.
About what?
Trump destroying America.
Okay.
People don't realize what Trump is doing is going to have real world effects outside of America. Like, I can think of a few examples right off the top of my head, not even talking economics, but like military wise. Like, China would invade Taiwan, shit like that. And then like multiple countries would fall because their main backup is the U.S.
Okay.
I feel like the two-party system there should be more than two parties. Or there are more than
you
two
vote?
parties.
Well, did you vote in the last election? Did you vote in the last election?
No, I didn't like either candidate.
Okay, we had this conversation earlier. Did you analyze each of the candidates?
I mean, I did like my due diligence. I did a little research on both.
Okay, so if you did your due diligence on Kamala Harris, what did you learn about Kamala Harris's economic policies? What did you learn?
Honestly, that was back in November. I don't even remember. I just went on what I saw on my laptop. I can go on my search history, search up the websites I used.
So again, you started researching the candidates in November?
It was like around Halloween, like right before the voting happened.
So you decided to make American citizens have two responsibilities to be able to enjoy all the freedoms that we claim to have. Pay your taxes and vote. So of the thing, do you pay your taxes? The answer is yes, you do. Okay, so you have a civic responsibility to participate in democracy, and you decided that just a few days prior to the election is when you were going to start your research. Do you think doesn't it seem a little weird?
I wasn't thinking about it until like I heard.
Of course you weren't. Of course you weren't. So then the statement that you made about how you didn't like either candidate, you have no argument because you don't know anything about either candidate, do you?
I mean, I don't remember. All I knew was what I saw on the website. It's like I used.
And what website? How old are you, by the way?
18.
When's your birthday?
September 26th. I turned 19.
Okay. Why is it that when we have these conversations, right? So I've had many conversations with people who are non-voters. Why is it every single time I ask the question, their response is, I didn't like either candidate. And then the follow-up question that I have is, well, tell me about Kamala Harris's policies. And they never have an answer. So then that then would allow many of us who are observing those interactions to say, well, it sounds to us like you're just a misogynist because you just couldn't look past the fact that she's a woman, a black woman, a strong ass black woman who was the most qualified person to ever run for the presidency in our country. And it's not even close. Not even close. You couldn't take a half an hour just to go to her website and read the highlights? And I think that's the argument, like we had with a guest earlier. You notice how desperate he was to hang on to his racism and his sexism. Remove the names, remove the images, remove the political affiliations, and just put their resumes down side by side. Put the resumes down side by side and say, okay, which one is the better choice? You have to vote. You're in a position where you got to vote. You have no choice to make. What would you do? And they can't answer the question because they know if they do, they'll be exposed as the misogynistic, racist fucks that they are. Period. Oh, you're right, JJ, I forgot. Her laugh. Totally forgot about that. It was her laugh. Thanks for the reminder. You know, for people who critically think, which is what you guys do because you're the smartest chat on TikTok, people who can critically think can be objectively critical of some of the things that Kamala Harris had in her economic policy. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work. Not that I didn't like the policies. I just don't think there was enough of a detailed and specific enough explanation. Now, a lot of that can be explained because there wasn't a lot of time to do it. But that's what critical thinking does. See, we're not fanboys and girls and non-binaries on the left. We hold our politicians accountable. We don't just do what they tell us to do. We don't just cheer on every possible fucking pivot. That was your biggest problem, taxes on TJ. That's your biggest problem? That's your biggest problem? That's why you couldn't vote for her? But instead, you decided to vote for an adjudicated sexual predator. See where that argument doesn't apply? You see? And I feel like we're getting closer to more gotcha moments for the right when it comes to, as long as our lazy ass pathetic status quo moderate Democrats can get the hell out of the way. Right? Just let them get the hell out of the way. We don't need them. It wasn't work. Does it apply to you? Are you that rich, TJ? That it would even apply to you? Do you even know what it's about? You don't even know what it's about. We're talking about the riches of the rich. People paying more for their capital gains. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? It's just a wild flex. Okay, sure you did. That was the reason you chose to. And people, I was listening to somebody yesterday who was complaining about the $25,000, the access to $25,000 up to, by the way, $25,000 to purchase a new home. Do people know the single biggest barrier to get into the home buyer's market is the money for the down payment? That's what this was supposed to do. To offer people a way in. It's not like everybody was getting $25,000. It was up to $25,000, depending on the level of your loan. Wealth taxes just don't work long term. Everybody, TJ, wealth taxes just don't work long term. You are protecting billionaires. Thank you for proving it. I'm really considering whether or not I want you to be part of the throuple, TJ. I'm really disappointed. I thought there was potential hope for you, but even if you look really good in your blue velour tuxedo, even if the junk in your trunk shows up really nice in your tight-fitting pants, I don't think I'm interested. So it's just going to be me and Patrick / Paul. Just saying. Stop prioritizing fucking billionaires. The fuck is wrong with you people? Stop prioritizing billionaires. They don't give a flying fuck about you. They don't care. Look in the mirror and say, you know what? I got to get over my racism, my bigotry, and my misogyny. I got to get over that shit. I got to get over it. I got to get past it because billionaires don't give a fuck about me. Stand there proud. Recognize your mistakes. Recognize the fact that you've been conned. And say, I got to get over my racism, my misogyny, my bigotry. I got to get over that shit. I got to get over it. Instead, no, you don't care, TJ. You don't give a shit. Instead, say, billionaires don't give a fuck. If you agree that they don't care, then why the fuck are you voting for them? Why are you enabling them? Why? Oh my God. Right, Jess? So much for having faith. Yeah, it's officially, you're off the throuple list. So there's an opening. If someone else, a lot of the weak-ass, soft, crazy-ass MAGA men in the chat today who are intimidated by my fingernails, maybe you would like to be TJ's replacement in the throuple. I promise we'll have a good time. I don't judge. I'm kinky. I don't bite. I nibble. Seriously. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. If you're interested, I'm taking applications. So
you turn on the water, drip.
Yeah, that's not the one I wanted. Where is it? It's this one. So if you want to be part of our party and you feel uncomfortable or triggered by my fingernails, don't be intimidated. I don't bite. I only nibble. Thanks for playing. Applications accepted now between now and noon Eastern time. Thank you. Appreciate you. I don't use my fingernails to trigger. That's the point. You get triggered by them. I don't. You guys don't know me. This has been something I've done since my daughter was 3, when she would hang my fingernails. I don't care. It's just something that I like. I don't care. I'm sorry that I don't bring it up. People in the chat bring it up. I'm responding to show you how weak you guys are. Can you imagine being so pitifully weak and insecure with your own self that you have to comment on something like that? Can you imagine walking around like that every single day? If you don't like it, then don't do it. I don't give a fuck. Seriously, if you don't like it, then exactly. Why do you care? Why do you care? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Hello, doggy. Hello.
Good morning. I really had
How
high
you doing?
hopes for I really had high hopes for that throuple. Dang.
It's over. That's it. I'm done. Moving on.
I'm sad.
Yep.
Yeah, what's going to be over is a lot of people's wallets when the student loan repayment kibosh hits. And I know everybody's really concerned about the Medicaid cuts, which I am as well. But two things are also true. Like, you think that's going to be rough. April to August is about to hit some people's wallets hard.
Yep.
And nobody's really
Interest
talking
rates.
about that as much, right? All the cuts that they did to the repayment programs and the availability of the others. I know you with in the position of being ready to send your child.
Gotta love FAFSA. Said no one ever.
Well, I'm surprised FAFSA even exists anymore. The way they shredded all the student loan stuff. Like,
it's a good point. Well, it exists now because you
yeah.
can't make the wholesale changes until new rounds of legislation. But it's on my mind. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw, because we both love Jessica Craven and her videos, and she did one on someone who started out. I think they borrowed $20,000 5 times, and currently now, because of different resells to different loan administrators, her total is.
Hang on 1 second, AD. Hang on 1 second, TJ. Belgium had a wealth tax. The rich left. Okay. Bye. See you later. More parking for me. Appreciate it. Thanks. Sorry, AD.
I really don't get the simping for wealthy people. It's as if I'm taxed highly, like if I am good and I am living my life without having to worry about where my food is coming from or my housing, or if I, take my money. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah. While you're here, friends, so tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we were reminiscing a bit because year and a half ago, roughly speaking, I just did a Friday Night Live, and it was just, "Are you okay?" And then I got a sweet message from AD afterwards, like, "I don't know what your background is, but hey, maybe we could do this." And it turned into Facts After Dark. So we're going to go back to our roots a little bit tonight. 7 p.m. Eastern time. AD will be there to join me as we have to ask that simple yet complicated question these days. Are you okay? So that'll be tonight at 7 o'clock right here. Please come back.
Is no. Most of us are not. And if you are okay, what's your secret? Come on and tell us. Because me, even as a clinical therapist, I'm struggling with being okay. And I know what to do to be okay. And I'm still, it's a stretch these days.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Cue My Chemical Romance, exactly.
Right.
It's a good point.
I mean, people are just not
so
okay
true.
from your nails, Like, that's a wild flex, right?
So freaking wild. It's
Yeah.
so wild.
But, I'm reading a book for the chat. If you really want to read something to give you some insight as to why the world is the way it is these days, it's this book called The Coddling of the American Mind. It explains so much. It's this whole concept of like, just Google The Coddling of the American Mind and read the synopsis on the book.
Agreed.
There's just a lot of, I don't know, my clinical mind, it can't see the world any other way. And it's really hard to witness people like, what was his name for earlier this morning? I even got up early on the west side of the country here, early time, to hear John Galt and his goofy contrarian self. What the hell? Like, that was just arguing for arguing's sake, right? I think I put in the chat, I was like, he was just trying to have a hot take that was neither hot or a take. Like, it was just...
Exactly.
So
exactly.
The most I got from what he was trying to say is, he said, prove why it works. But why what? Making money? People making money? More money would work to do what? Feed the capitalism that you likely like? Because capitalism needs consumers? Do we forget that step? If we can't
I
buy
think.
shit, we don't have we don't have an economy.
Hang on one second. I think I want to do this. Hold on. Stand by. Yes, I'm doing this. Quickly, give me a second, folks. I'm trying to do something to quiet the masses. You can vamp if you want, AD.
We need to keep this rolling. Steve does so much work to give information to folks, to make it so that we can all learn. Steve.
Okay, so I can guarantee you, all of you little weak ass, scared, cowardice men in the chat, you have toys in the attic in your record collection. Well, maybe you don't because most of you aren't very cool. You have toys in the attic in your record collection. So do you have issues with this now? Do you have issues? You have issues with that? So from now on, I would like you to refer to me as Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler.
In fact, I even have my own name.
I am Steve.
Steve.
I am Steve.
So do you have issues? Is it only that progressives who are devilishly handsome and smarter than you are triggering to you? Or is it that you now want to go back and burn all of your Aerosmith albums or your Motley Crue albums or your Twisted Sister albums? Do you not like David Bowie now because of his androgyny when he's always been androgynous? Come on.
Yeah,
You see how pathetic that is?
Is that magical?
Do you see that? How pathetic it is? It's wild, right?
It's that magical belief system, right? You filter out the shit that doesn't fit.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And I think, what I really think it is, for those of you who are really triggered, you want to do it. You're just not brave enough.
They're just mad they can't be authentic.
You're not secure enough in your own manhood to do it.
Probably because they've been coddled.
Yeah, because you've been told it's dangerous. Dangerous. All right. I've got a couple people in the box. I don't have much else. There's a couple things I wanted to get to, but if we get to it, we will. If not, Victoria, I see you. Hang tight. Reality, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm really enjoying the show. This is the first time I've been here. So I wanted to...
Thank you.
At one point... Sorry, what?
I said thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to share a book that I've been reading. It's been out for a while. It's called The Sum of Us, the Racism Costs All of Us by Heather McGhee. And I think like part of the conversation that a lot of people miss about sort of the cruelty of MAGA is that it's this false equivalency of like, if I allow, say I as a white person allow other people that aren't white to succeed, I automatically fail. And that's like that's a ridiculous premise, because the majority of people that are really suffering under a lot of these policies are white people. We're working white, middle class and working class. So, but the the MAGA elites, have been selling this lie for forever, so that they can, pit us against each other and divide and conquer. So It's a really incisive look. It's written by this Black American woman who ran an NGO, looking at basically increasing awareness, kind of DEI awareness, for companies, and trying to improve, diversity and so forth. And it's just, it's a shame that white people aren't talking about that more, because
We do, but I
personally don't.
appreciate I appreciate you
Yeah.
saying that. Reality. I know it is. There's a many reasons why, quite frankly, but I think overall it's the change, from my perspective, to boil it down. The change in our demographics in our nation has triggered white men in particular, and they feel like they have found a champion in Donald Trump, who will defend their whiteness and their place on the hierarchy, and the fact that they haven't accomplished much in their life by and large, that they're mediocre at best. They think they're better than they are. So instead of going after the people who are truly the threat, they're going to punch down. But I appreciate you jumping in today, Reality. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thanks a lot for being here.
Yeah.
And yay for reading, right? Just overall, read more books in general. Like, just read more books. People need to read more books, like reading in general.
Books. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Matt.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm just fine. I just thought that I would hop up and say hello, because I think that I've never actually gotten to say hello to you in person. So I just thought I would say hello real quick, because I listen to you all the time, and I know you've listened to me a few times, and I just wanted to say in front of everybody how much I enjoy and value your content, because I do, and especially during the school year, when I'm stuck, taking my daughter back and forth to school, because she's 9, and when you have to get up at 6:45 in the morning, and 8 o'clock is early, and that coffee is rough. But luckily this time of year, guys, it's not so much, and I'm on late. And so I get a chance to get a little bit of a reprieve, though. Our friend Erica and I are doing we're doing a co-hosting thing around 1 o'clock today, so that should be fun.
I saw that 1 o'clock Eastern time, right? 1 Eastern.
Yeah. So
I saw that. That's great. That's great.
It's going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be an insane amount of dry sarcasm that's going to fly right over the heads of our MAGA friends. But
that tracks.
Yeah, it does. But I was just gonna say real quick, and then I'll happily let you move on to other folks that as fellow New Englanders, I find it so difficult to talk to a lot of these folks, because I feel like I feel like it's very difficult to have these conversations with people, because I feel as though we are speaking from a position of having so many advantages where we are, and having so many political advantages in terms of the states that we live in. I live in Massachusetts, for many of the folks out there who might not know where I'm at. And I feel as though when I speak on different things, when I speak on things like education, for example, or healthcare, I almost feel like sometimes I'm bragging about the things that my state is able to do. My state isn't perfect. We certainly have issues in different areas, but I am just flabbergasted at the people that are willing to defend their politicians and the way that their states act and different things like that. And it blows my mind. I hear the same thing with people that you talk to, or the same thing in the when you talk about different news stories about other places. And I feel so lucky for where we live. But
Agreed.
it just blows my mind. And I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way, living where you live. I don't understand why people can't they can't see the disparities that we're dealing with in our country. I wish more people could understand. Again, I know that people think Massachusetts is a liberal hellhole, oh no, and we pay so much in taxes. But I'm like, hey guys, my daughter, I don't have to send her to private school to get a great education. I spend no money every year for school supplies. Like, people are shocked. I don't get a list. At the beginning of the year for, you have to get her this. No, they just provide all of it. If she needs breakfast or lunch every single day at school, she can get breakfast and lunch every single day of the school year. No questions asked. She doesn't have to fill out a form. She doesn't have to do anything. All of those things. There's about an 11-to-1 student to teacher ratio, et cetera, just in talking about education. And I just wish that more people would step back and listen to some of these ideas instead of shit on places like us and say, hey, maybe we should try to adopt more of those.
Matt, it's a great point, and you can brag, man. I mean, I get it. I mean, we talk about this. I mean, I'm sure we maybe we share similar sentiments about New Hampshire. I mean, I personally would just like to build a bridge right over it from Vermont to Maine, but we'll leave that conversation for a different day. But you're right, and I'm fortunate too, where the place that I live that doesn't exist, because we prioritize these things. So when people talk about, and I think this, I'm glad you mentioned this. We've had this conversation before. And by the way, friends, if you don't follow Matt, please follow Matt. I've just recently found him, really like what he does. So please do me a solid and follow him if you don't already. We had these conversations about education, and people say, well, look at our education compared to the rest of the world. Well, if you compare states like Massachusetts and Vermont and New Jersey and California and New York, they compete with other countries around the world. Why? Because they invest in education. Now, yes, no place is perfect. Massachusetts got a high tax rate. Used to be called Taxachusetts, probably still is. There's nothing perfect. Nothing perfect. It's difficult in Vermont with an economy that is so dependent on tourism. When tourism drops, we all feel it here. But I wouldn't trade it because of the things that our states have prioritized. We prioritize things like education, women's rights to their body, for example, making sure that kids can eat in school. So fucking radical. Woo! So radical. Damn. But I think you should brag about it. You should brag. I mean, don't expect knocks on your door, people wanting to move in, but
I mean,
that's fine.
I think that we both should. I think that most of New England, again, also with maybe an exception, I do tend to maybe share some of your views. Although the White Mountains are very beautiful.
Beautiful, no doubt. Great fishing.
Couple of places to go skiing and whatnot.
Correct.
It's really it's really true. And I guess that's at the end of the day why with this with this hellish tax bill and with all of these different things. That's why I worry about the rest of these people, and why with all of the people that we talk to, why I'm so continually worried is because I know that it's going to affect those people more. I know it's going to affect those people more. That at the very least, it's not going to be good for everybody. But I know that states like yours and states like mine are going to insulate us more because they will work harder. I know, right? But they will work harder to insulate their citizens as much as possible and bridge the gap in the federal money that we're going to be losing. Because they've shown that they've done it in the past, and so I just wish more people would see it. They would understand that a place like Massachusetts competes top 12 in the world for education.
Correct. New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, Vermont. Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. And if you just put your money where your mouth is, you do get the outcomes. And so anyways,
Correct.
Listen, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Appreciate you.
I just want to say I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
I love
and
what
then
you
1
did
o'clock
too,
today.
Matt.
1 o'clock Eastern today with you and Erica. Everybody, please head on over there. I'm sorry, AD. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just gonna say, I love what you do too, Matt. Thank you so much, because I've been on your live quite a bit, because Erica's a bestie of mine, and I found you because of her, and really love how you handle the guests. I love how you convey information, and I think, to your point, what you're saying right now is so important. I want to hear more about. We need to talk about how government works for us, right? Like, I think there's this overall thing that the other side's been able to do of convincing people that government is the enemy, that we shouldn't pay taxes to a thing that doesn't work. And like, no, it works. There's a lot of things about it that work. You about to have the find out season come around and teach you what was working, and now no longer is, because it's being torn down. Like, let's just burn it all down to show how it doesn't work. Like, that's not how that should. That's not how that works. But yeah,
and Matt, before you leave, I just want to let you know, TJ has decided he might invest some of his time with you. I don't know if that's good or bad. I will let you decide.
Enjoy, TJ.
I think he's feeling jilted because I've kicked him out of the throuple. So good luck with that.
You might need a throuple with Matt.
I appreciate you. Come on over, TJ, and AD. Thanks for the kind words, Steve. Man, anytime you want to come by, I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
I got it, bud. See you later. Take care.
Later.
We like Matt.
We love Matt. Everyone, make sure you follow Matt. His lives are great. Yes,
No,
he gets some wild folks. Let me tell you.
Steve is not worried. TJ, trust me, I'm not.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi,
morning,
Victoria.
Beautiful. Hi.
How's Kitty Cat Land? Oh,
it's been,
on target.
I just got one left right now. Mama's up for adoption this weekend. So if you're in the North Alabama area and you want to head to Hazel Green, there is an adoption event for Mamacita. Olive, you're my last standing.
Meow meow.
Yeah, she's crying right now because she's alone out here, so she's being extra needy.
So I was actually wondering, how is the pussy, Victoria? Is it doing okay?
Yeah, they're all, the mama and Olive got a clean bill of health. Obviously, Olive screaming at the top of her lungs, per usual.
Right over your head. Right over your head.
Yeah, no, I picked up when you were laying down. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna
lay it back down.
Okay.
Yeah, lay it back down. You know what?
I tried. I could have done it better,
tried to throw
but I
me
didn't
off
want to.
on my game.
I tried. Payback is a.
We're
bitch.
not doing
That's all I can
FAD
say.
right with like no FAD right now.
Ma'am.
That's right. I'm just saying. Anyway, what is on your mind today, friend?
Well, there's a couple of things. First, TJ was saying that Florida has really good education, and TJ, I don't know if you know this, Google is in fact free, and you guys don't rank very high. You're like what, 41st right now for 2025? So
oh no.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Tennessee's actually above you, which is shocked me. But we're not Alabama, so
Who's at the top of the list, Victoria?
who do you think, Steve?
I know, right? It's up
All
there.
those
It's up there pretty high.
states.
They don't exist.
Massachusetts is number one.
And has been for a long time.
Yeah. And then it kind of
New
just goes
Jersey,
from
Rhode
there.
Island. Yep.
Vermont's number 6,
Yep.
It must be those woke, leftists. It's weird.
That's it.
It's weird.
Yep. It's all the maple syrup. Yep. We get just wasted on maple syrup. Well, I mean, I'm glad Matt said that because, and I think he's right. Like, we don't need to apologize for that shit. Throw it in your faces. We figured it out.
Throw it in my face.
We figured
Literally.
out how we can. We figured out how we can have a budget surplus and still fund public education. Amazing how that works. Mm-hmm. Amazing how that works.
And speaking to what Olive said this morning, and just gonna full circle bring this all together. This is what Southern parents have to think about. If you're an educated liberal in the South, progressive, whatever, you're having to come to terms with the fact that your education system isn't as good, and you have to make sacrifices. I literally know that I will have to make sacrifices in my life and give additional lessons after school to compensate for the fact that the education system here isn't as good, because we have fuckfaces like Janice Bowling who are up here saying that voucher systems are a good fucking idea. even though the Tennesseans don't want them. So we have to supplement that. We have to make sure that they're, taken care of, while also worrying about the administration and worrying if we should get ADHD testing and autism testing for our children because we don't want to put a target on their backs. So it's a full circle thing. And you add that with the child care issues, whatever. Why would people want to have children? Explain that shit to me. Like, how can we want those things? So, like, if the goal is, pro-life, taking care of the children, all that shit, you should overfund public education. Parental leave should be at the top of the list. You should make sure that every single working class person has at least 30 vacation days off, because even if you don't have kids, you deserve time off with your family, whoever those people are. Amy can agree that sometimes your chosen family is better than your real family, as well as we need health care. We need health care so that you can be healthy and make smart choices, because all those things round up to better education and actual pro-life stances. So, there's my little hill. There's my little hill. I will unalive you on it, not the other way around.
It's not about life, though. We know it's not really about life.
Well, you bring up a good point into something to piggyback on what Matt had said earlier about how, we need to throw it and play in their faces with it. When we're having conversations with people from states that don't rank as high as some of the liberal states, I'd say shame them. Wait, you guys don't provide free breakfast and lunch for your kids at school? Wow, that's pathetic. And then laugh at them wait a second. You guys are in the bottom half of education. Wow, how embarrassing. Wait, you guys get money from the federal government and you still don't fund your education? I go back to the first question. You guys don't provide free breakfast and free lunch for the kids in your schools? Wow, how embarrassing. Throw it right in their fucking face. Throw it right in their faces.
And to the other part of this, when teachers in the South are presented with children who are outside of that, their parents are doing the education, speaking from experience, they're removed from classes. I had a petition to remove me from my U.S. government class. I was removed from my history class multiple times and sent to the principal's office for pushing back, talking about things like Project Paperclip and why Schnazis are such a big thing in Alabama. This is part of the problem. I was never removed from a classroom by a left woke teacher. I was always removed from a class by a Republican. Always. And that just shows you that because liberal teachers would let the students talk and they would have a discussion and then they would move on. Republican teachers would kick you out.
It might have been in Tennessee, and I'm not meant to shame your state, Victoria, but remember the story of the lunch lady? Remember the story of the lunch lady recently that got fired because she gave kids free food?
Yeah, I feel like that.
What state was that in?
That sounds like some Tennessee shit.
I remember that story
I was
too.
You know what I'm talking about? I was like, wait, what? So this woman decided to give a kid who couldn't eat. So there's a couple things connected to that. There's not only the fact that kids should fucking eat, but there's the social stigma connected to it too. That in many cases in our country, the more impoverished states are by and large the red states. Many times the only access to meals that kids have are at school, and you guys don't want to pay for that. What the hell is the matter with you?
Yeah.
What is the matter with you?
I mean, it's
That's
the same party that
crazy.
doesn't want anybody to have water while they wait in line to vote. So, at least they're consistent.
Well,
that's right. That's right, lady. I think you're right. The school wouldn't allow the lunch lady to pay for the kids' food. Yep. Why the hell not? I'm sorry. TJ, did you just say you agree with me on something? Did I miss that?
Yeah, TJ agrees. We're moving up. TJ, your Bernie shirt's in the back. Let's go.
Dude,
anyway,
I'm sorry, but you're not going to be invited back to the throuple. It's just going to be Paul, Patrick, and I. I'm sorry, buddy.
You have to work for it. Extra work.
Yeah.
Well, if TJ comes in, it's a quad. So you got to switch your...
No, Paul Patrick is one person.
Oh, that's right. It's Paul Trick. Okay.
And to the Republicans who might be watching, liberal student getting removed from class, I wasn't ever disrespectful. My U.S. government class was because I had the audacity to ask the teacher and the class why they could say they were pro-life if they would support the unalive penalty. And that's when the petition was signed to have me removed from the class, and the teacher told me to talk less. The second one was history class, and it was about the New Deal, and the question on the test wasn't fair in my mind. So I wrote a note saying, I'll take a lesser grade. I'm not answering this question. It's biased. And the teacher sent me to the principal's office, and they said, we're going to call your parents. I said, call them. They sent me back to class because my parents would have agreed with me.
You know, in this whole thing, and we talk about this a lot, but it always comes down to this basic principle for me. It's like, what are your priorities? And, you know, I don't see how anybody would not want to, we're talking basic minimums. I believe that every human being on earth should be guaranteed health care, food, water, and shelter. Why is that so controversial for conservative Christians in America?
Because they believe, they equate equity and equality with less for them. And if poor kids who have struggled can have a meal, they might do better than the rich kids who don't have to fight for anything. It comes from, they want to keep them down because, you know, maybe it's mediocrity, I don't know. But at the end of the day, they don't care about life. They feel like you should lift yourself up from a bootstrap. I mean, this can go straight back to the Bible of feeling like, you know, the woman is the problem. You know, children are supposed to be seen, not heard. That kind of mentality of you have to obey. And if your parents just happen to be poor, well, that sucks for you. Don't get above yourself, you poor little serf.
There's also a little bit of like survival of the fittest too. Like I've talked to people of like, well, that's okay. I mean, that's okay. Let them go. Let them go. Cause I'm better. I'm not going to be that person. It's not going to hurt me. So let them go. Less for me to fight over. More for me because they're out of the division of whatever it is we're dividing. Like it's just this gross, really like self-preservation. And I think I see it so much. And we know that the more chaotic, just anthropologically, the more chaotic a society is, the more likelihood it's going to turn to authoritarianism. Because at that point, the need for certainty kind of overrides your need to have freedom. Like you'll give up your rights if you can feel safe that somebody's in control. It's a weird thing, the human brain.
And you know, the people that they criticize, you know, the people that are you know, at the poverty line or below it, or just paycheck to paycheck, like I forget the number, 75% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. They're the ones that are literally pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. They are literally the ones that are working multiple jobs to try to feed their families. The same people that are part of that community as well. Some of those same people are also ones, conservatives, that are having to work extra jobs. They think just because somebody, you know, God forbid, paints their nails and wears a rainbow hat and might vote blue, that they're not doing the same damn thing. This is what we've been trying to convince you of for decades. It's not right, left. It's top down. It's literally like the people that are the people that you are voting for are going after you. And they're telling you that it's the brown people that you have to worry about while they're picking your fucking pocket.
Right.
Come on.
I'm waiting for the ICE videos with palm-colored people. Where are they at?
They're out there.
The European immigrants.
I mean, look
They're out there.
I mean, a perfect example, Afton Bain, who is running for Congress District 7 here in Tennessee. I'm friends with her. I adore her. But she was told by her constituents that, you know, they didn't believe that she would show up for them when ICE raids happen. What did she do? She tailed ICE and ended up getting a ticket. Because she tailed ICE, she ended up keeping malicious compliance. She kept them probably for over an hour, all the ICE agents and a couple of troopers. But here's this person being pulled over by ICE because she was, as a representative, making sure, like, so, you know, of course, Andy Ogles picked it up and the right picked it up if she was, you know, getting in the way. But this is part of that thing of we have to, as protected white people, and Steve and Amy, you'll likely agree with me on this, actually, I'm pretty sure you will, that we have to be the ones out there stepping up in our communities and putting ourselves between ICE and those agents, because then those videos
especially my community, especially white men.
And going back to the blaming, if any politician is telling you that someone is to blame, specifically someone that is trying to make a better life for themselves, they're likely a fascist. Because
Correct.
the people who are a problem are those people who have so much wealth in our country that they are unwilling to share, unwilling to pay better because they want to hoard it at the top. That is fucking unbelievable. Even I'm pretty sure the Bible has some verses about like having super amounts of wealth. And I mean, I know Robin Hood is a story that we all like to quote, but he didn't steal from the poor to give to the rich. That's right? Like he stole from the rich to give to the poor because the rich were doing some shady ass shit. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
that's okay. I got to wrap. So I'll be back real quick. So if you want to do some final thoughts. So Victoria, we'll start with you with final thoughts and I'll be right back.
Guys, today is a great day to get involved. And, of course, as a candidate running for office, I do need money, in fact, to do that. So if you're feeling froggy and you would like to help out, I have 2 different links today that I need donations for. One is for my candidate training. It's at the top of that link in my bio. The second is for my Act Blue, which goes directly to my campaign. Pick which one. We only have to raise about $500 more for my Emerge class training to cover my tuition, as well as if you want to donate to my campaign, because that makes everything happen. You get handwritten thank you cards from me. Also, with the note of candidates running for office, remember, voting is public transportation. You're not buying a house with a white picket fence. You're not getting married. You're not putting a ring on a finger. You can come back at any point in time. So remember that candidates here are public transportation and they're meant to represent you. So please, please, please vote accordingly. And if a candidate falls just below the mark, don't let that outweigh everything else that is on their policy. Cool.
Well,
Yay!
Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate you. AD, final thoughts?
Man, I'm just really glad we're doing Are You Okay tonight. And I'm so glad that you thought of it. I've been thinking about it myself. So same braining. The world is a heavy place right now. And I know it's hard for all of us to stay afloat. When personally things happen, life is going life be life and every day. And then you add on the heaviness of the world in general. It's a lot. And so it's okay not to be okay. And if we're all not okay together, the wild equation of that is somehow you'll be okay. Like when we get together and we remind each other why we do what we do, we're going to find some joy. I highly recommend, side note, everyone go see the Superman movie because just out of pure,
woke AF.
Fox,
the ultimate immigrant.
Fox Entertainment is losing their shit over,
They're losing their shit.
The wokeness imagery of the pro-immigrant stance in the new Superman movie. Like, who gonna tell them?
It's hilarious.
Who's gonna tell them that X-Men is woke as fuck?
I don't know.
It's so hilarious.
If ever stay in your lane was a person, wow. Anywho, I'm gonna go do that with my wonderful partner that is keeping me sane these days. After we do Are You Okay? So I got that to fill my batteries. So I'm here to do that heavy lifting with you tonight. And I want everyone in this chat, if you just need to come and vent, if you need to talk about stuff, like Steve was saying, this is how he and I, our timelines crossed about 1.5 years ago. And we thought we weren't okay then, my guy. Wow.
So true. It's so true.
And so here we are, still doing the thing. So yes,
I appreciate you both. I'll see you tonight. Thank you, Victoria. I love you, friend.
Bye,
see you later. Thank you, ED. I'll see you tonight, 7:00 Eastern time. I appreciate you. All right. So listen, thank you everybody for participating today. Obviously, there are unexpected angels out there if you're not afraid to look for them, and it's okay to be one. The whole point is that there are things that people who advocate for human rights that we should be proud of. Don't ever apologize for it. Don't ever let somebody tell you that children in schools shouldn't be able to eat. Don't let anybody tell you that people who need help and the government helps them, don't let anybody ever shame you for that. In fact, shame them. Like I said, if you're in a conversation with your conservative cousin from the Midwest and they say, you got to pay all you guys that want free shit. Wait a minute. You mean you don't support children in school being able to eat? Wow, that's a wild flex. Are you proud of that? You don't, wait a minute. You don't want children to be able to eat food? That's crazy. You guys are so damn poor in your state. Maybe you should look at your policies and start being more responsible and pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. Anywho, mods, I love you. Hey, Eve, if you're listening, we really fucking love you. Just saying. Thank you, friends. See you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.